Okay, our session is now being recorded. So my name is Amy Jennings, and I am in Central Florida. I am the secretary of our Seminole County PTA, and this year I'm also a president of a local unit, Sanford Middle School in Sanford, Florida. So today we are going to take a look at Google Forms, and more specifically, an add-on I learned about where you can take the responses from the Google form and turn them into a PDF. This is a feature that we have used at the county level to receive reports from our county level board chairs. As you can imagine, at the county level, all of our board is off of their own committees and doing programs at a pretty broad scope level. So we have found success in asking each board member to fill out a Google form for their report. And then using Form Publisher, it will spit out that report to a PDF to myself, the secretary, and the president. And we're able to very quickly put together a report packet. The other way I am hoping to use this, and what I will demonstrate today, is using it in my local unit. I find at the local unit level, I'm not quite as process driven. At the local unit, we are hands-on, feet on the ground. So what we're going to take a look at today is using a Google form to collect volunteer interest in one of our committees. And I will attempt to put together in front of a live audience a PDF template that we will use to help make sure that no volunteers fall through the cracks and that every volunteer who is interested is accounted for and contacted. So that is what we are going to do today. Before I get started, I want to let you know that thank you for attending. When we're done, we will have a survey form for you all to fill out. And if there are any questions, you can contact media@sccpta.com. At the end of today, I'll provide you with links for where you can go to find additional information. So without further ado, here we go. And I'm going to take you from the very beginning of this process. So you've never seen this feature before, and we are going to start from scratch, okay? Okay, you should be seeing a nice black screen that says Google. Yep, thumbs up, checks. Okay, so this is how this works, okay? You say to yourself, hey, I want to collect some information, get some volunteer info. And you're like, you know what? Google form can do that, right? So I'm gonna go and create a new Google form. I'm just gonna start a nice blank form. Here we are, okay? Now, a lot of us have probably seen this before, so we're not gonna take a tour of Google Forms. You know, you normally get started here and you say, you know, this is for the hospitality team, and you start off saying you want their name and you want their phone number and you want their email. And then you might say something like, when are you available? No, I'm not going to go too far in this specific example. We're going to treat this a little like, you know, Good Morning America, where they're making the recipe, right? And they mix all the ingredients together and then they put it in the oven and then it's done. So we're going to kind of do that. So you're like, all right, so I started my form. Now I want to do this form publisher thing. Well, it's actually an add-on that you have to know to go get. So up here on these three dots, you want to say you want to get add-on. Okay. And mine pops up right here. This is what we're going to get. The good news, it's free, so that's great. And if it doesn't automatically pop up for you, just type in form publisher. Okay, and then it'll definitely pop right to the top for you. So you click on it and you say, yes, I want to install. Now, don't worry, you're not installing a program on your computer. We are simply installing this as an add-on in our Google. So we just say, continue, pick the account you want to use it for. As you can see, it's good for PTA, but for Scouts, all kinds of things. Of course, you want it to allow, accept, anything it wants. Fantastic. Okay. So it is going to do its thing. So now when we come back to our form, we have a new icon. It's called add-ons. And there it is, form publisher. Okay, so here's my little announcement. It takes a minute for form publisher to adapt and really attach on as an extension. So if you're like me and you refresh your browser, I don't know, every 5 seconds or so, just take a break, give it a minute to attach onto your account, and then you'll be ready to go. So I'm going to refresh here and see if I can get it to attach on to my new account here we've done. No, I don't want to style my text. There, it attached, okay? I know because now it says get started. It's a good sign. So it's working. I like how it gives us that tiny message there so that we don't get distracted. Okay. So now this box, like a little help box, is going to pop up in your bottom right-hand corner. You could try a little demo. If you're like me, you kind of just want to get stuff done. So I just go for it and click Start Setup. So here we are. Now, this is the first time we're doing it, right? So we are going to tell it, we don't have anything existing. We need to make one. And to get it to a PDF, I like Google Docs. To me, they're the easiest to edit. Then it's going to do all the work. Okay, so now we're gonna switch to the other oven. Okay. So you saw me mix all the ingredients. Now, all right. Now we're gonna come back to ding. Okay, so our recipe has cooked. And now we have some options. Okay. When you create your form, you're going to treat your Google form just like you would for any other. It needs to have a title, your instructions, and the things you want in your form. This one, like I said, we're going to talk, our PTSA has a very strong school store and concessions. And we need a better way to make sure we don't lose people who want to help us. So we've asked them how often and when are you available. I've been careful to select my questions that you can check more than one answer, because of course we need them there all the time. And what days are you available, things of that nature. And then this is how this form works, okay? in our little helpful box here, once it's done baking, okay, you come up here and you have these options in your menu. So we're going to start with templates and markers, which is where we already were. So that's good. There's a form. Okay, we're going to go look at that in a second. But I wanted to go ahead and look at these markers first, because this is what are going to be the anchors in your Word document. You have some default things like today's date and a timestamp. And then you're going to see the questions that you created in your form. Name, email, phone, and here are my 3 questions. And you get a choice because I selected a multiple choice option, a checkbox. You even get to pick whether you want them listed just in white space. I'm a bulleted list girl. And so that's what I've chosen for my response. Okay. So now you're like, AIM, you say I've created this document. Where is it? What are you talking about? Well, what's most important is that you are doing all of this in your Google account. So I think most of you on the call, I would wager, has a PTSA Google account. Okay. You might have one for your school. That's what I have at Sanford. You might have a Google Suite. I know a lot of schools are moving on to a suite where you can have a separate account for the secretary and a separate account for the president and a separate account for the treasurer. Okay. So whatever account you have picked, you are going to go to that Google Drive. And it is going to create your form. Okay. So here's my form. Here's my template. And if you wanted to go back, you won't after I show you, but if you wanted to go back, it even pops up that Excel document that you normally have to download to get your form responses. What I like to do is rename the default to whatever form I've created. I don't know about you, but my memory's not too good. I get going fast and I need things to be named what they're actually for. So even though it might create a dummy title, you want to rename them so you can find it later. So let's take a look at our template. All right, there it is. Now, this is the default. Okay, so the way this works is anything.
Amy, very quickly,
Yes.
I don't think we're seeing what you're the switch. We're still seeing the form.
Okay, one moment, please. Now, do you see a Word document with a purple box?
Yes.
Perfect. So here we are. The way a template works is we have these little quackers, little ducks. And the item in between them is your marker. So this is where you can make things your own. So what I like to do, my template title is School Store Team. I recall that from my other document. But maybe I might like to add in here, received from their name way up here. Okay. This box I would really just delete. Goodness. It's a table, so sometimes it can be a little tricky. There it goes. I don't feel the need to say question list. And here's a format that I created. I don't need it to say today here because I've got the timestamp right here at the top. What increment means is if someone were to submit this form more than one time, it would let you know it was the second time they submitted it. And very simply, I have every one of the fields on my form here. If you want to be fancy, you could insert your logo. It operates just like your regular Word document. There you go. Again, might not need to get fancy about it, but if you wanted to, you could change the color of the font to match your logo. You could make the questions a different color than the responses. It all's up to you. So when you're done setting up your template and you come back to your form, this is where you can also see you can edit it right here from your box. So if I click edit from here, it takes me to the same template we were just working on. I just wanted you guys to know where Form Publisher was saving it. So we're back. Before we take this out for a spin, let's talk about some other options in here. So the first one, or the next one I should say, is the destination folder. It is going to automatically place it in the folder it created that I showed you earlier. But if you wanted to change it and put it somewhere else in your drive, you absolutely could put the responses wherever you would like. The next option is file generation options. Okay. So these are fairly innocuous. I don't mess with them much. These are the defaults. You could enable response editing. That means that if someone wanted to change their responses, it's not necessary unless you want them to. Since I had multiple choice questions, there's really nothing to edit. And keep PDF copy in the drive. That means that their response will be created as a PDF.
So,
Okay, Randy's waiting for you.
yeah.
All right. So we have our naming convention here. It is the title, name, and today's date. So just like we did earlier with our carrots,
Yeah, thank you.
you can put these in whatever you like. So name wasn't initially here. I added it because when I get the file, I want to see the name of the person who has responded in the file name. Sharing options is my personal favorite. This is what you can do to ensure that the individual in charge, in this case of this team, receives a copy of the form. In fact, you can have multiple people receive it. So this was created for Sanford Middle in our Google account. And I'm going to send a copy to the email address for the person in charge of this team. And I've said I want them to receive it as a PDF. You can also personalize the email that they get. So because this was in the oven a little bit, I might have already personalized the email. It's really fabulous. Okay. So you can personalize who it's from. So it didn't capitalize PTSA, I don't like that. And you can give it a specific subject. So I have edited this to say that a response has been received. Again, I'm fine with it being the file name because it's school store team. And I added the name of the person who has submitted it. The initial message was simply, please see this attached PDF. Okay. I wanted to be a little more prescriptive with my team members to let them know that this is a new volunteer interest request. I want them to contact the person, get them scheduled, get them involved. And with my local unit, we have our executive committee members walk alongside our board members. So if they have any questions about contacting someone or are unsure, they can reach out to their mentor. And I let them know that I had a hand in this. This isn't some auto-generated kooky kook. It came from a person. So I want them to act on it when they get it. And if I had made any changes, the save icon is at the bottom and it would be available for me to click. So I'm going to pretend I clicked it. Click. All right. I think that's about it. Our last one that we'll look at is form status and account info. Okay. I don't see a need to muck with these. I mean, I guess make sure it says your time zone. If you're using that timestamp. America, I think it's New York, right? If I scroll by it, someone stop me. There it is. And
we do have a question in the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Uma
Oh, there
is
we go.
asking, can you please walk us through approval workflow?
Sure, let me go back to that. Let's see here. Help my memory here. That was here in here it is. Okay, so if you want to see approval workflow, attach rejected files. Well, I clicked it. Let's take a look. I don't like this, to be honest with you. I haven't used this feature yet, and I am not seeing a lot of things here in managing how it's routed. So I would personally not recommend doing that here. If you feel very strongly, or if anyone else on the call has used this and wants to share, it makes me very nervous when people could get email notifications about things. I wouldn't do it. Uma, if you have any more context for what you'd want to use it with, when we get to the end, we can open discussion and talk about ways we could accomplish that. I can share a case study when we use it for reports for the county level. There's really not much to approve. But if we were to have a question about something they submitted in their report, we would reach out to them and get clarification. Okay, so after 30 minutes of baking our cake, who wants to take a bite? So we are going to take our own survey. I'm going to open it up in a different browser tab so that it's not me. And I hope it comes out good. So we are going to answer. To regularly at lunchtime, Monday, no, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Can you guys see the survey I just filled out? Okay. Okay. So here I go. Okay. It's been received. So I'm kind of nervous here. Going to my inbox. Okay, it's not there yet. Nope, it's not there yet. See, it's like waiting for. All right, let me try the person that we copied and see if that's in there yet. Nope, not that one. Nope, not yet. Well, because I'm impatient and this is real time, I'll just give you a look at my test form. So this is one that I did before we improved the format. As you can see, I was still in a testing phase. And you can see where it has the date and time stamp, the name of my template, name, email, phone number. And at this point, I only had one question in their operational, which was I'm available at lunchtime. Hopefully we can get Google to, oh, yeah, it's here. Okay, it's here. All right, so here's the new one. You can already see the difference in the title because we changed it to response received school store. All right, so when you click it, here's the message that we wrote. You have a new interested volunteer. Oh, look, I did not turn off the approve or reject. So I could hit this button in a minute and we can see what happens. All right, but before I do, let's look at our template we created. So here it is, it's our logo from me. Apparently I typed in my name and email wrong. It's a volunteer for you, right? But I got a phone number in there. And here's our answer. So you can see the bulleted lists. Ooh, the bulleted lists worked. And when I picked more than one answer, more than one bullet appeared on my list. So guys, I feel real good. The customizations that we did came through. And I feel like this is an actionable item that my team can take action on. Okay. Are there any questions before we hit that approve and reject button and see what happens? No. I mean, I'm kind of excited. I'm going to hit it. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're all just excited about the button.
I know, like, what's going to happen? So I hit it. I have been asked to approve a file. Should we approve it or reject it? Let's approve it first and I'll reply it. There we go. Because every time I see like a field, I have to type something in it. So now what happened? Oh, look. Oh, wait, no, back. No. Here we go. I got a notification that it was approved with the form again. Okay. So if you were maybe using this to complete like a plan of work, that might be handy where you could fill in the questions, your board members could fill in the answers. And then whoever it gets routed to, their EC member or their president, could let them know it's approved. Rejected is a harsh word, but you could put some information in there about what you wanted them to fix. What do you think, Uma? Love the approve option. I know, that could have saved some time, right? Okay. What other questions do you guys have? Are there things you were hoping to see that you haven't seen yet?
Okay, Uma put in the chat, looking for an electronic way to approve expense requests from teachers. This is a great way of doing that.
Uma, that is good. Yes, you could do that. Absolutely. Because where it's, remember the Google Drive that I showed you? Okay. This responses folder, guess what it keeps in them? It keeps the responses, right? So not only do you have this potential approval flow where you would have an email trail of all of that, you would have a copy of the PDF stored in your Google Drive. I didn't thought of that. What else are you guys looking to use this for? Maybe I can get some more ideas for myself. Let's see here. Because we do teacher grants as well in my local unit. Oh, one approval. Let's see if it also went to the other email address we provided it. It does not seem to have. But this is one of those things where I would definitely want to test it. And I will reach out to, maybe I needed to grant access or something. I don't think so. Oh, I did. Look at that. So if you add someone to form publisher and they have not ever used it before, it looks like Google lets them know that a new feature has been added. And before they can participate, they might have to say, yes, I want to participate. So let's see if we can get it to work now. No, it's not coming through yet. This is definitely one where we need to test it out. Certainly from a usability perspective, I could certainly see between me and my team, just some general confusion about what I have just sent them and what to do about it. So I think this is really excellent technology. It's going to be a little easier if you all have board members who are using Google all the time. I think keep that in mind when you're setting it up. and make sure that whoever you want to participate in the process will feel involved in the design of it and able to respond in a way that's most helpful.